And we are now back on land, and joining us is Vice Admiral John Miller, who is the commander of U.S. Naval Forces for Central Command and the commander of Fifth Fleet here in Bahrain. Admiral Miller, let's start with what you really have accomplished with those airstrikes.
Well, good morning. Let's look at it in the framework of the President's strategy, what he's asked us to do. Degrade and destroy ISIL, advise and assist the Iraqi security forces, reduce ISIL's funding, and provide humanitarian assistance. So what have we done? We have a U.S.-led coalition air force. We have Iraqi security forces on the ground and Peshmerga security forces. What's been accomplished so far? They've retaken Mosul Dam. They've reinforced the area around Haditha Dam. They've reinforced their position around Baghdad. They provided relief at Sinjar Mountain, which was a potential humanitarian disaster. They provided relief around the city of Amerli, another potential humanitarian disaster.
So they've really slowed down ISIS, but haven't halted them.
No, they haven't halted them, but there's been progress being made.
But they've moved forward south.
Well, there was some risk in the southern part of Baghdad, and the Iraqi security forces have been able to reinforce their position there, so they're more secure now than they were previously.
And the targeting now, we talked to Rear Admiral Miller on the ship, and he said it may get a little more difficult. I saw lots of fighter jets returning to the ship with their bombs still attached. I know that's normal sometimes, but is there a chance you kind of run out of targets because ISIS starts spreading out?
Well, they're an adaptive force, and we've seen them adapt to the airstrikes that we're doing. But really bad news for them. We're the most adaptive force in the world. And so as they adapt, we'll adapt.
But air power has limits. I'm sure you would be the first to admit that. So what do? You don't have military ground controllers to help pick targets, and you don't have a U.S. ground force there.
No, we don't, but we have a ground force on the ground, the Iraqi security forces, the Peshmerga forces as well.
And we know they didn't perform so well, and that's why we're there.
And that's why we have the advise and assist mission to help them get better at what they do, and there's lots of work going on in that regard.
Paint a picture for the American public of what you think this campaign will look like in the next 6 months, in the next year. Will we see bombing all the time? Just give us a sense of what that would be like.
Well, I'm not sure that we know what it's going to be like, because it is an adaptive campaign, and it's going to develop over time. We have a broad strategic framework from which to work from, and that's helpful to us, and we'll have to see how it's going to develop over time.